Peter Johnston, Director of John Watt & Son, Carlisle's oldest coffee roasters. Thank you very much for the opportunity to present John Watt & Son. When I was first asked to do this talk, I was asked to come up with the title, and it was to pivot or not to pivot, because at the time everybody was talking about how we needed to pivot our business, how we needed to do things differently. So at the end of this, we can perhaps answer the question, did we pivot or did we not pivot? We do need to say a very big thank you to our customers, our suppliers, our landlords and our bank, because I'm sure, as everybody else I'm talking to, this time last year we thought what the hell was going to happen and where were we going to be. And we are eternally grateful to the support that we've had from our customer base who have found us and who have supported us, from our landlords that gave us some time, and to be fair to HSBC Bank because they came through in the end. But it's also fair to say that John Watt & Son is slightly different and a little bit bigger than the one shop that we are on Bank Street. We're filming today in our roastery on Blackfriars Street. But as a business, when we bought the business, we were turning over around about £375,000 a year. Our budgeted turnover for the year last year, which has just ended, was originally somewhere between 1.2 and 1.4 million. I'm honest, COVID took at least a third of that, possibly slightly more. We didn't have any real growth because we were all paddling very fast to survive. But it's also fair to say that John Watt & Son has become a little bit bigger than just a coffee shop that is an icon of Carlisle, and it's important to us that it remains there on the high street because we've been there since 1892. We also look after the catering for Tully House, the museum at the castle, and we also provide catering services for a company in Newcastle called Accord Healthcare, which have been absolutely fantastic for us because their volumes have gone up during lockdown because of their main customer. So we're no longer just centred on the one shop. And we're quite honest, looking back over the last year, if we'd still had just the one shop, I wouldn't be standing here talking to you. I don't believe John Watt would have survived. Combination of factors, we wouldn't have been able to keep up, we wouldn't have been able to reinvent ourselves. So I think from our point of view, we're glad we did what we did, we're happy that we've done, and I think what we're doing is we still do wholesale tea and coffee across Cumbria, southwest Scotland. We even have customers down in the south. Our diversification in the catering and the fact that we have moved away from being totally reliant upon Bank Street has given us the emphasis and the ability to cope with some of what has hit us all in the last 12 months.
You're doing very well, Peter, by the way.
Okay, so one of the questions that we asked ourselves, and lockdown has been very good to stand there and take the opportunity to look at our business and go, what did we do right, what did we do wrong? Because we've sort of stepped out of the proverbial treadmill. So one of the questions we asked ourselves is how did we achieve what we've achieved? Because, you know, to go from the growth that we've had, we've had a little bit of luck and we've been in the right place at the right time, but we've stuck very true to some core principles. So to us, we operate to what we now have defined down to 3 core principles of fresh, sustainable, and reliable. So fresh means to us fresh produce sourced locally from within 50 miles. It means fresh cooking, so we cook everything fresh. We produce it fresh on the day, or in terms of our coffee, we're freshly roasting it. And we're trying to send you, the oldest coffee that we try to send you is roughly about a week, if we can, on most of our core blends. but it's there, that it's fresh. But fresh isn't just the product, it's sometimes coming up with new ideas, it's looking at doing things in a different way. Equally sustainable. So sustainable to is yes, it has to be, so see, looking at a bag now that's recyclable, produced in the UK, so it's not imported from China, so we have resilience in supply chain. But actually, we've created a partnership whereby we deliver benefit to both parties. So that service and that supply to you or whoever we're working with is going to last longer than just 12 months. It's also being sustainable in how we operate and being fair. So therefore, there's a famous story I'll tell of somebody that presented me some apple juice that we bought from him that I sold out in a day. And the next time I bought it, I told him to put the price up because he wasn't making enough to survive. So it's trying to create those partnerships so that everybody wins, and in that we can all go forward. The third word that you hear, and you'll hear us talk about, is reliable. So from our point of view, we're not going to do something that we can't do. Or we're going to tell you we can't do it. If we say to you we're going to deliver you this and we'll deliver it at that time, you can take that as a read that we will have delivered it to you. We have a customer whose volumes went up during lockdown, thank you very much, but they actually had to tell us, they've rang us up and told us to come in and talk to them because we didn't feel we were ready or we could do it. But we now supply them, we're now in all of their shops bar one. But it was a two-way street. We will keep the consistency. So to us what's important is the consistency of our product. Whenever you go, that you get the same quality. If you drinking our espresso somewhere, that ideally you're getting it the same as if it's within one of our shops, so we've provided the training and the support to achieve that. And we don't believe that business grows by revolution or big ideas. We believe business grows by a series of small ideas. So we believe in the policy of evolution, not revolution, because 100 small changes has just the same effect as one big change. And that's what we've tried to do. And that's probably what we're going to do next. You're not going to see us do something out of the ordinary, but we'll make lots of little changes to keep progressing. And we have some interesting new business coming on stream this year that is a bit scary, but hey, we're going to do it, and we'll be there delivering it on those same four principles of fresh, sustainable and reliable. One question that we get asked quite often is, what's next? Scary question at the moment. We haven't reopened yet. Have we got plans? Yeah, we've got some plans. We've always found that the business has sort of told us what we needed to do. And everybody says, you have, these big plans and you've got this strategy. We get to a point and the businesses tell me, you need to do this, so we then do it. But yes, we have some changes. You'll see some changes come through. Last year we refurbished Bank Street, which has made a big difference to it. This lockdown we have invested in technology, so we have new EPOS systems going into Bank Street when we reopen and into here. We've also refreshed our brand identity. So the traditional green will be going and will be replaced with gold, which brings us to probably the biggest single investment that we're making at this time is we're rebranding our website. Again, did we diversify? Did we pivot? When we bought the business, we bought this business because there was a number of revenue streams that could be developed, and that's what we saw was the potential. And what lockdown has taught us was that we'd actually neglected one and doing everything else, and we needed to spend a little bit of time on our digital presence. So over the next 6 weeks, probably the beginning of April, a new website will go live with brand new labelling, building on the product that we currently have. It'll be slightly more informative, slightly more modern, but again, that's trying to equip us to go forward again. But that's just one aspect of the business. You know, we intend to remain on Carlisle High Street. Our ambition is that, you know, Bank Street has been there since 1892. It's still there in 2092 and 2192, but we might not see it. But more importantly, we want to continue to grow the group. One thing that will probably happen over the next 12 months, possibly slightly longer, is we will launch what we term at the moment as John Watt in-house, which is that opportunity for us to come along and do catering for a business or somebody else in their premises, but have our name and our recognition of quality on as the stamp and the reason to use as our freshly produced food, our coffee, and our attention to service. So at the start of this talk about John Watt & Son and where we'd come from, the question I set was to pivot or not to pivot. Did we pivot or did we not? We don't think that we pivoted. We honestly believe that 3 years ago we took some conscious decisions that as a business, if we'd remained on Bank Street, we were always going to struggle. And anybody that knows us, we're in Blackfriars. There's times that we wish that we never even walked in the door taking the keys because of the pain that it caused us. But actually, in reality, without this, we wouldn't have survived the lockdown. If we hadn't have been approached to do the job in Newcastle that we do for Accord, would we have had the confidence to do all our the outside catering? And in reality, probably not. We never expected to get the job in Newcastle. We were competing against a national. But again, because of previous history with them and the knowledge of what our principles of operating, where they gave us the opportunity. And it's fair to say we're now outperforming the national in their other branch. So I have this fear that they might come and ask me to run their other site, and it's at the other end of the country, we don't want to do it. So we think there's more growth. I think you will see the name come forward. I'm not going to put a figure on where it'll be, but we would hope that we can continue to evolve. But I don't think we pivoted. I think all we have managed to do is make the most of the revenue streams that we had, and have grown them to the best of our ability. And again, I can only say that we've achieved that with the thanks and the support of a whole host of customers and suppliers, and we would like to, hopefully we can continue that relationship. So thank you for your time and listening to me to rabbit on about John Watt & Son. Thank you.